So, first things first, guys. How are you?
How's
Great,
it going?
thank you.
It's going all right, thank you. So, where I want to start is kind of before Everything Is My Family. You kind of went on trips, each of you. Was it important at that time to kind of get away from each other a little bit?
No, I think after the touring for our second album, it was just a natural. I'd moved back to the States. I was living in London with them before, and then I moved back to the States. Bass had always discussed wanting to travel to Central America and learn more about the indigenous people there. Gilbert's got an amazing studio in London and was eager to continue grinding away making music. And so just naturally we kind of went off and sought inspiration or however we wanted to, and then came back together and started making music in different places. And I think the fact that we did spread out, I think, is what gave the sound to the third album in the end.
Because am I right in saying you kind of started developing ideas away from each other?
Yeah, we've always developed ideas together and away from each other. And I know it's good to be able to try new things. We're all about Christophize is all about different genres of music and different combinations of stuff and combining old with new. So hopefully with this album we've done it again. Hopefully.
Well, like you say, using different elements of music, but also using different instruments. And so I'm gonna probably pronounce this incorrectly, but the chalaparta.
Yeah.
So when did you come across this instrument?
That was when we first started the band.
Okay.
It was one of the first sort of things that got us interested in Basque influenced music, and it's a great instrument. Since then, we've gone on to look at some South American guitars like the charango, and lots of South American and African percussion as well. But it's just great to be able to take a bit of those things and add it to what we're doing already, and hopefully that provides creates something new. So
on that trip or in that period where you kind of went your own way, what was, I start with you, Gilbert, what was something that inspired you? Was there an instrument or a certain thing you came across?
I mean, I still thought I had a lot of work to do with the ukulele. There was still a lot of studying to do, and so I felt like I hadn't really fully exploited the ukulele, and I still don't feel like I fully exploited it. We need more ukulele hits.
So it's a misconception that it's an easy instrument to play?
I think
the hardest. It's maybe the hardest.
Well, yeah, no,
to perfect.
To perfect, yeah. And I'm not there yet, I promise. No, it's the simpler the instruments, the more it sort of allows for creativity on top.
But look how big his hands are. It's tiny. It's a tiny instrument. That's the tough part.
Fair enough. And then same for you, Graham. Was there something when you went back to America that?
Yeah, I was more in terms of genre, kind of inspired by looking back to 70s rock and roll, psychedelic rock and roll, and trying to maybe achieve a different palette of sound for this album. But I was using all the classics, chalapartas, used some charango, used some ukulele,
And so then you mentioned we're psychedelic. So is that? And then there are definitely some songs that have this feel to it. So was that a conscious effort to make it more of an experience, so to say?
Definitely, yeah.
How do you? I have to phrase this correctly. How do you? When you perform your music, are you very aware? Are you very conscious about what you're doing, or is it more of a?
When we're performing,
right.
Conscious in what sense?
In the sense, are you very focused on now?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think we're totally, before the show, I've prepared a lot. We have our routine and different outfits and things that happen on stage. But once we're on stage, I think we just get into the zone and it all flows. And yes, things are happening that we've planned, but then also a lot of things happen that we don't plan.
But being socially conscious.
always socially conscious.
Always socially conscious, particularly on stage.
No, but if you understand what I mean, with psychedelic music, it's kind of making people feel something in a different way than a regular structured pop song. So is it kind of an experience that you want to give other people as well?
Absolutely. I think we've always focused on taking the crowd on some sort of journey, and whether that's looking at it from song to song or looking at it as a bigger movement, and the shorter songs kind of fit into this ebb and flow of experience. That's what, we've always tried to do that. So when we make new music, it would just kind of, we try to fit it into that bigger wave.
With Everything Is My Family then, what was, and this might be difficult to pinpoint, but what was kind of the wave that you were going for?
What do you mean the wave?
The tidal wave.
The kind of the feel.
We're going for that like 95-foot wave at Nazaré in Portugal. That kind of wave.
Well, no, I mean the thing with it, like, you know, everyone going on all these trips, the idea was that, you know, that on this earth we're all cousins, you know, we're all related, but it goes beyond that. Not only are all the humans family on this planet, you know, we're all related to the trees, the plants, the air, the ground, the stone, you know, the pollution, everything, we're all together, like, in this world. And it was sort of like sitting in the rainforest, you know, like with birds around us and like the insects singing, that it really brought that sort of tourism to us, you know, that we are all connected. And I think hopefully, you know, the message of the album is for people to feel a bit more connected with each other and to realise that they're not on this on their own, and we're all part of one sort of greater force.
And then this has also always been an element in your music, but especially if we look at the world around us these days, and then especially how the media portrays it, is that kind of a reaction to that as well?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like, there's some troubled times going on at the moment with people, a lot of division in society. I mean, in Holland in particular, we can take that as an example. And it needs. I think everyone needs to take a moment to realise it's, you know, not only are we all connected to each other, but we're all connected to a greater cause, and we're all on this planet, and we just come from millions of years of however it came about. And I think that you can gain happiness from that realization. You know, you can by realizing that you're not alone in life, and that you're actually a very valuable part to everything. I think that's really important, and hopefully people can, you know, for us, you know, music has always been about escapism, and, you know, like, when we play on stage, we escape into a different reality, and hopefully the audience do it. Hopefully our music gives people a moment to get away from their problems and to get away from the things they're worried about, and just to have a pure moment of presence. And hopefully that was the idea with this album, just to ram that point home, really. And I hope people are getting it. Everything is your family, people.
I find that interesting. Graham, for you, and this is a little bit mean, but is there a song that particularly has this effect on you, kind of this escapism? Or?
Yeah, I think it's like escaping into the present moment. Okay. So it's like the mixture of escapism and being present and active in the current place you are. And so I think all of our songs, to be honest, all of our songs are meant to achieve that in the end. And you know, love is often the theme, or togetherness. And if you listen to what we're saying, it's all about being either happy or projecting positivity or having fun or being here, and about being conscious of that and appreciating it.
Well, and it is interesting because, these days a lot of music is also focuses on the bad things that are happening, but you chose actively to kind of make a celebration of life. So this positivity, why is this important?
Well, just because otherwise we're all, you know, mankind's been warring for millions of years, and I'm sure it will happen again.
Also, it's easy. Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
No, I mean, it just takes, I think sometimes it just takes a little bit for people to realise that it's not about that, and that we can actually find, you know, a lot in common in our differences.
Also, if you can't wake up every morning and celebrate the fact that you're alive, then you've got some problems.